As far as the intensity of practice, I think that's something we needed to pick up. And it starts with our look team. And I told those guys that it's critical that you give us a good look. Last couple of days, they've done a really nice job of that. So with that being said, tomorrow we have a little dress rehearsal of what we do when we enter the stadium. We're going to go from the locker room, outside, figure out where we do our calisthenics, where we do our individual drills. The coaches will be in the box with the headphones. We'll orchestrate somewhat of a walkthrough game. I think that's important. The staff has been together. And I think the sideline procedure is very important. How we communicate on the sideline as a staff is very important as well. So we're going to try to get that done tomorrow evening. Tomorrow they have a banquet, one they've had here for years, I would assume. And Scholar Ballers will be a part of that. And then from there, we'll conduct practice. And then Sunday will be a Sunday similar to how we deal with Sundays after a game. So we're trying to get into game-type mode. But it was good work today. It was a little hot. It was good. And sped up practice a little bit, which was good. Got guys running around. We voted for team captains. I ought to mention that. It was a team vote, not coach's vote, team vote. Offensive captains are Manning, Cabral, and then King and Wren are the defensive guys. And I don't know, Mark, you can pass this around to them if you want, but basically gave them some attributes before they took this vote 2 days prior. These were some attributes of a captain that I felt that were important for them to understand. I'll leave this copy here so they can see it, and then there's also, the responsibility of a captain. I think sometimes when you do things like that, players don't really know the whole focus of what goes into being a captain. And I've always taken it very seriously. I think it's a great honor for all four of these guys. We'll always have an honorary captain, depending on who we play. But it was a good vote. It was a close vote for some guys, but I think they needed to know the team, what it took to be a captain. And I think they looked at it, and they felt, we had a sheet in the back. You can see the sheet in the back. It's like a ballot almost, right? And so they voted, and those are the captains, the four guys I mentioned. King, DeMonte, yeah. Cabral, yeah. Two offensive guys. No, I wasn't. Really wasn't. That didn't catch me by surprise at all. I think if you know the guy and you listen to him in practice, he's a very vocal guy. He is a guy that's provides inspiration. He's one of those guys always, willing to correct or help a guy. And so I think they see that, they feel that, and that's why I've always felt like the team needs to vote for these things, not the coach. Let the team do it. They know who they want them to be represented by, and I think the young guys need to probably know a criteria of how you do these things. I think sometimes, team captains are because you're the most popular guy or you're the star of the team. It's not always that way. So I just thought I'd give them an outline of some things they need to look for, and they did a good job of picking these guys. His willing to compete every day. He is all about getting better. I mean, he loves the competition. When he doesn't get a ball, like today at the end, he thought there was two guys around him, and Manny threw it somewhere else, and he wanted the ball in the red zone because he understands that's a scoring zone. He wants to score touchdowns. He wants to make big plays. I saw that when he was in high school, when I had him in the Under Armour game. Very strong hands. We say there's 50-50 balls, but when he's involved in it, it's probably 80-20. Very difficult, very difficult. I played against guys like that in the league, and the big, strong, physical guys. It's all about position. You got to play. You got to be in position, and you got to go for the ball because if they're strong hands, they don't catch the ball on their chest. They extend to catch the ball. And when you play guys like that, and there's a lot of guys in the league that have his traits, and he has traits similar to that, you have them covered, but they're not. And the quarterback still throws the ball to him. You think, well, he's covered. Not really. He's not covered. And I think you try to get him in matchups where you feel like if we throw it to him, our chances of winning or probably 80%, maybe more, depending on who the competitor is. So he's a good guy to have. Now, obviously, teams are going to try to do some things to take him out of it because he's such a good player, and we got to be ready for that. You know, when they take him away, who's the second guy? Who's the third guy? And I think it's got to be an offense that's multidimensional, where he can move him around. And I think Coach Likens has done that. He understands that too. He can't be in one spot all the time. But we got to get him the ball. I mean, because he's a big time player. I've always done that with players that I've had on my teams that were good players. Receiver comes in mind was Tony Gonzalez. You know, I was fortunate to have Tony, and we knew there was going to be so many passes in the game, and he was going to get targeted so many times. And that's how you got the same thing with Nikhil. Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the holder, the snapper. You know, that's one unit together, and I think him getting confidence in the holder where he wants the ball. Those kickers are different. You know, I've had a lot of kickers in my lifetime as a player. I just kind of leave them alone. You know, I just kind of pat them and say, "You're doing good," you know, and watch him. And you know, a couple times I've watched him, and at times he doesn't. It's almost like a golf swing. You know, it's don't aim it, just kick it. You know, that's the only advice I can give them. And I've been around some good ones, and the good ones, they just kick it. They kick the ball. They don't try to aim it. And I think sometimes when he aims it, he'll push it a little right, okay? Because he's kind of trying to fit it in there. And I just say, just kick it, man, and it'll go through the pipes. And he's done a pretty good job of really toward the end here of getting himself ready. Oh, they take care of the coach for the first 5 minutes. I'm kind of a jazz guy, and Mark's a jazz guy. I listen to Watercolors. That's my station. My daughters go crazy when I get in the car with them. No, Daddy, don't turn it to 66. You know, they know Watercolors. No, they want to hear that other kind of music. It's good, but it's soothing. So I kind of listen to that. A lot of the players they figured it out. And that's coach's music. He gets the first 5 minutes. They asked me in the pregame when we start playing games. I said no, no, I have nothing to do with that one. That's all you guys. I'll leave that alone. So yeah, that's just kind of me. Well, hopefully we're going to be balanced. I want to be a balanced offense. I really do. I just think balanced offense generally can dictate the terms of the game. And I think we have the ability to do that. I really do. If we can keep our guys healthy, it'll be fun to watch them. I won't tell you exactly what we're going to be. You'll figure that out when we play. I think you'll see some things, and people will scratch their head and go, really? Interesting. So I'll just leave it at that. But, yeah, offense, obviously, that is the strength of this football team. There's no doubt. I mean, you're just trying to build a defense. Special teams is always a big part. We have 2 kickers that have kicked before, which is always a good deal. You know, you want to make sure the snap and the hold are correct. The punter, we're trying to do some things that highlight what he does. You know, he's an Australian guy. We're trying to put him in his comfort zone. Defensively, we're going to try to build a defense. And we know we have some parts, and we're going to have to play some young guys. There's going to be some oh-no's every once in a while, and we'll live with it, but we'll get through it. And I just think at the end we'll be much better off. But our offense has to be the calling card. I mean, you get a veteran quarterback. You get one of the better receivers in college football coming back. You've got a tandem of running backs that are pretty good. You've done some things with your offensive line that we think can help us. So, sure. I mean, I don't think that's a question. I don't think anybody's questioning that. I think that's who we are right now. Yeah, he must have been sick or something. I think he had a virus or something, but yeah, he's fine as far as I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of versatility, and that's why we were excited about getting Roy. And you know, it's like anything else. He's going to have to play double duty a little bit, and we've got some offensive linemen now that we feel can move around a little bit, which helps us. You know, and we've got some guys with experience too, because going into this, you want your offensive line to be experienced because of obviously the quarterback and the receiver. It's good to have guys that have played in the Pac-12. It really is. It's a comforting feeling when you have veteran guys, and you have guys that actually can move around. Cabral was a tackle. He's been playing center. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of ways to do things now, and that helps you if guys get nicked up or something like that. Oh, sure. Yeah, he has, and we're gifted. We have a lot of receivers coming back. We have some young ones too, though, and I think I'm not going to mention who they are. You know who they are. You can watch them. So that's going to be fun, you know, to have all those receivers. It's going to be interesting as far as the guys we dress, you know, how many guys we dress. I'm not big getting over 80 guys. I think it just makes it not manageable on the sideline. It's no one's fault, but we're going to have to come up with those numbers here sooner than later so we figure out who those guys are. And, you know, special teams will have a lot to do with it as well. You know, how many guys are playing on special teams. So we'll see where that number's going to end. Did he? Oh, good. Yeah, good. Give it some culture. Critical. Yeah, and you know, along with the head coach, because you have to play to the quarterback's strengths, and Manny knows that. We have conversations every day, so it's nothing unusual. But I think, you know, Likens was here last year, was a receiver coach, so there's some continuity there, and that's always comforting. And I thought it was comforting when Billy left, and I called Manny and told Manny, I said, here's the deal. This is who I'm gonna hire now if he takes the job. And he was excited about that. You know, he was excited that we were going to hire. And I told him, I said, you know, I want to keep the offense in check. It's kind of funny, you know, Rob Likens has kind of been around, and I was up in Tahoe for the American Century. I've played in that numerous years now. And the first day I played in the event, Jared Goff was my partner. And so right around the third hole, I said, let's call your guy. And we called Coach Likens. What are you doing? He said Jared, and Jared was talking, you know, and just visiting with Jared. He said, you know, Coach, he said, I'm glad you hired him. He said, how did you know to hire him? I said, did you remember when I came and talked to you guys at Cal? He says, yeah. And he says, well, I kind of watched him then, you know, and kind of knew about him. And, you know, and when he was on the staff, he said, yeah, Coach. He said, he's a really good coach. I mean, he helped me tremendously. And here's a guy that played for him, played quarterback, and now is in the National Football League. So when you have a guy like that speaks that highly of you, it makes me even feel better that I hired him. And, you know, he was the first guy. When Billy left, I didn't interview anybody. He was the guy I wanted. I said, it's your job. And if you tell me you're not going to take it, then I'm going to look other places. But hopefully you'll take it. And he did, and I'm glad he did.